painted as Psyche in one of Rome's palaces. Yes, her portrait was there, and here she was, alive. He carried her image away in his heart and thoughts, and when he had returned to his humble room he moulded a Psyche in clay. The figure was the rich, noble young daughter of Rome, and for the first time he was satisfied with his work. It had expression and feeling. No longer was his ideal vague and shadowy, and when his friends saw his work they were delighted. Here was the work of a true genius, they knew, and the world would acknowledge. Clay is lifelike, but it has not the whiteness or durability of marble. Psyche must receive her life from the precious block. This would not be too costly for the young artist, since a large block had been lying in the yard for many years. It had belonged to his parents. Broken glass, stalks of cabbage, and pieces of artichoke had been flung over it, soiling its purity, but inside it was still as white as the mountain snow. From this block Psyche would lift her wings. Now, it happened one day— the Morning Star didn't tell me this, for she never saw it, but I know it anyway— that a party of Roman nobles visited the narrow, humble street. The carriage stopped a little way off, and the visitors came to inspect the young artist's work, having heard of it by accident. And who were these distinguished strangers? Poor young man! Or should we say happy young man? The young maiden herself stood in his room, and how she smiled when her father said, "Why, it's you, to the life!" That smile, that strange look she gave the young artist, it cannot be described. It was a look that uplifted, ennobled, but at the same time crushed him. "Psyche must be completed in marble," said the rich gentleman. These were words of life for the heavy marble block, and in a sense for the dead clay, just as they were words of life for the young man. "When you have finished it, I shall buy it," added the noble gentleman. Now a new life began in that humble studio. Life and happiness shone there, and the hustle and bustle of business kept them company. The twinkling morning star watched the progress of the work. It seemed that the clay had taken on life while she had been there, and bent in loveliness over her image with its familiar features. "Now I know what life is," beamed the artist. "It's love. It is being lifted above yourself, the rapture of losing yourself in beauty. What my friends call life and pleasure is unreal, and as fleeting as a bubble. They know nothing of the pure, heavenly altar wine that initiates us into life." The marble block was placed, and the chisel cut away large pieces. Careful measurements were made, and the work proceeded. Little by little the stone was transformed into a figure of beauty, Psyche, as beautiful and perfect as God's own image in the young girl. That weighty stone was changed into a light, dancing, aerial form, a charming Psyche, with the smile of divine innocence that had captured the sculptor's heart. The Morning Star saw it, and understood all that was stirring in the young man's mind, understood the changing color of his cheeks, the look in his eyes, while he strove to utilize the gift God had granted him. "You are a master like those in the time of the Greeks," said his friends. "Soon the whole world will be admiring your Psyche." "My Psyche," he repeated. "Mine. Yes, she must be mine. I am an artist like the mighty ones of olden times. God has given me this gift in order to raise me to the level of the nobility." He fell upon his knees and cried in gratitude to God, but he soon forgot him, and thought only of her and her image in marble, his Psyche, who stood there as though carved from snow, blushing in the morning sunlight. He went to see the living, moving Psyche, whose words were like music. He could bring her the news that the marble Psyche was completed at last. He walked through the courtyard, with its fountain trickling through dolphin shapes into the marble basin, where the calla lilies and fresh roses bloomed, and into a great lofty antechamber, its walls spread with tapestries and coats of arms. Handsomely dressed servants, haughty and strutting like sleigh horses with their bells, passed to and fro. Some were even stretched out lazily and overbearingly on the carved wooden benches, as much at their ease as if they were masters of the house. He explained his errand, and was led up the carpeted marble staircase. Statues lined either side. He passed through splendid apartments hung with magnificent pictures and paved with shining mosaic. The wealth and show about him left him almost breathless. But his courage soon returned when he was kindly, almost cordially received by the dignified, courteous old prince who, after a brief talk, bade him visit the young signorina, his daughter, who wished to see him. Again he was conducted by servants through beautiful halls.